Hi guys and welcome back. So I feel that I'm ready now to actually come and give my take on the Aomway V1s, especially now they're also on sale for 300 bucks for a couple more days. To be honest, I really do like them, and for a couple reasons, we'll get into that right away. But first, I want to quickly do like kind of a head-to-head and just tell you the kind of differences that you'll be getting between a Fatshark HD3, this is the top of the line Fatshark, versus the Aomway's V1s here, the Aomway Commanders. Now, the first thing and most obvious thing is obviously the Fatshark takes some modules, some external modules, so you can put aftermarket modules to change some kind of features and options and all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's one thing that you can do on the Fatshark that you're not able to do on the Aomways. But if the internal receivers are performing very well, then you really don't need those features. So some people might be picky, some people might want those, and obviously you're going to pay a premium for those. But overall, the internals of the reception here is very good. I didn't have any issues with it, and to be honest, I really love it. It just makes the form factor a little bit better, and it's very, very good for traveling. I really, this is the goggle I would take if I was traveling. Now, let's talk about some of the other specs, such as fan. It's also available. Does it work? Yes, it worked. It actually worked better than my Fatsharks the other day while it was raining, while I was touching the budget quad, so that's very good in that perspective. The DVR is very good as well. I have nothing to complain about. It works just as good, if not better, than the Fatsharks here. Alright, so now, is it comfortable or as comfortable as the Fatshark HD3s? Well, on the stock faceplate, I mean, it's unless you're picky, you're going to say no. But if you're not picky, then it's totally fine. You're not going to feel anything. It's just going to be just as good. However, you know, the down part here does tend to hit my nose, but I mean, obviously everyone's going to have a different experience, but overall, it did not bother me at all. That's just my take on that. However, you know, I think I have a smaller head than usual people maybe, because this was not good enough for me. So I am planning on replacing this with the kind of like Fatshark style here, because this is perfect. And this just wouldn't fit and didn't hold the battery very well. But that's not a deal breaker. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you my experience here. For input voltages, it takes everything beautiful. The IPD adjustments were absolutely fine. I didn't have any blurring. It was absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, we have many of the options that the Fatshark has here. So this is $200 more expensive than that guy, and basically it has everything that this has. And you know, the only difference is the field of view, and the picture quality is absolutely beautiful. The range is absolutely beautiful on the Aomways, and the picture quality is very good as well. Sometimes I see that the Aomways are possibly a little bit better in video quality. Now let's talk about field of view, because I think that's where you're paying the extra $200. Now, is the Fatshark worth the extra $200? Yes and no. I would say it's worth like $100 more in my opinion, but $200 is a little bit too much and it's pushing it. But don't forget, they're also giving you a battery, but I mean, you can get a battery for like $5, it doesn't even matter. So overall, you know, this does not really justify its price anymore compared to this guy. But let's talk about the field of view. The field of view is noticeable, that the Fatshark has a better field of view. But where this excels, okay, where this lacks, there's also something else where this excels even better than the Fatshark, which is compatibility. And what do I mean by compatibility? Well, for example, I have a 16:9 camera on one of my quads. When you fly it on the Fatshark HD3s, because it is a 4:3 aspect ratio, it'll render you useless and unable to fly, because you'll think you're at the moon, next thing you know you're on the ground, or you're thinking about to hit the gap, and next thing you know you're hitting the pole. So it's very bad, because it stretches like this once you go to the side. It's very terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You can't really fly. You'll have to end up changing the cam on your quad to fly. And I don't think there's getting used to it. Like, you know how some people say you'll get used to it. No, there's no way in hell you're getting used to it, because it's so tricky. It's so weird. It's just distorted like crazy. So that's something where this fails, but this excels dramatically. Now, this is obviously a 16:9 aspect ratio goggle here. And on a 16:9 camera, it's going to fly absolutely beautiful. However, when you go down to a 4:3, it's actually easier to fly, because everything is just so wide and you can hit gaps and it just feels so good. So in that perspective, it's very good. I really do love it, and I really do enjoy it, especially when I'm using 16:9 cameras, or actually any type of camera. It'll do just fine. It'll excel beautifully. However, this one's a bit picky. Let's leave it at that word. So this one's picky with its goggles. I recommend, or I mean, you'll see it yourself if you ever have one of these. When you fly a 16:9 camera and you don't even know it's a 16:9 camera, you're just like, what's wrong with me? I can't fly. It's because it's a 16:9 camera and this distorts it like absolutely crazy. It's terrible. Now let's talk about the image quality. The image quality are both good, very good. I have no complaints about them. The Fatshark seem a bit brighter, but that doesn't affect anything. But where is super noticeable between these two is, for example, you put your quad down on the grass and you have a piece of grass in front of you, and on the, let's just say on the Aomways you would see it about that big, and on the Fatsharks you would see it about that big. So it is noticeable. You're getting around maybe, I would say 30% more visibility. But however, don't forget, these are like a super ultra wide screen. If you've seen those gaming TVs or the gaming monitors, have you seen those like LG 34-inch ultra wide? This is the kind of image you will see. It is shrunk down, but it's very wide. However, on this guy, it's more of like an IMAX theater. It's just very large, like there's just a big ass square right in front of your face. But you know, it's also noticeable from gaps from far away. Like if I'm about to hit a small goalpost from, let's just say, 20 meters, I would see it super clear or super-ish clearish with this guy. This guy I probably have to get to 15 meters to actually start making it out just right and hit it. So that is the difference between these two. But overall, they do perform. I have had no issues with either one of them. Everything's on par. Everything works beautiful. The auto scan is a bit, it's good, it works good, but you really can't tell if it's really on the correct channel or not. So I tend to set all my quads to 2A. But other than that, it's just it's absolutely phenomenal. For 300 bucks, you're getting a lot for $300, and this is very good. And I have no complaints. It feels nice. They even give you, you know, your little covering case here. So if you are going ahead and thinking of purchasing this, go ahead. You have nothing to lose. You're not going to lose anything. It's actually very good. I haven't noticed any issue with it in the freezing cold and in just warm days. I can't say summer because I got this after summer. But overall, yeah, nothing to complain about. Everything is beautiful. Everything just works fine. These right here do tend to get stuck sometimes, but not like stuck. Just a little bit, you know, if you just have to touch them easily. But if you push on them, they kind of just like grab them. You could feel them rubbing, but they hold just fine wherever you set them. But to get it that perfect pinpoint alignment, I mean, it depends on your eyes. For me, my face is just perfect enough to get the things in focus, and I didn't have any blurring. Or if I did, the blurring, when people say blurring, don't get afraid of blurring unless your face really is not between this IPD range. Then it's kind of bad. But overall, your brain will take over the blurriness and will take like the good image from your right eye and cancel the bad image from your left eye, and vice versa after it just sinks in. And it should just sink in right away. So overall, this was a very good goggle. I was hesitant when I purchased it because it was my birthday and I kind of was going towards a waveform generator. And yeah, and actually when I first got it, I had first bad impression. I got it, I didn't like it. I was like, oh, it feels so cheap and everything. But now after using it and trying it, and I've actually let my brother use both of these. He said he liked this one more because this one is, he says this one is too big for you. He said this one he gets immersed perfect. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's also a personal preference. But at the end of the day, this is more universal than this guy. And it just works. So this is a very good goggle. It's it'll do the job and more, really. So yeah, well, this is my take on the Aomways. And yeah, if you like it, please smash that like button. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, feel free to let me know. And I will see you next time. See you guys. Take care.